All right, our kind of people fans, the show is back, and technically speaking, this was the mid-season finale, given that season 1 has only been ordered for 12 episodes. So this is the middle of the road, episode 6, entitled For Colored Boys. And I'm scoring it a solid 8 out of 10. I mean, I missed the show over the past couple weeks, and I know you all want me to do these videos quickly, but yeah, I was overwhelmed with the shows this week. Not to mention, I needed a mental and vocal break because earlier this week, I did like 20 plus videos in less than 24 hours, and it wasn't worth straining myself and the channel. So I took a bit of a break, but I did watch all the shows in the past day, and I really enjoyed pretty much most of the shows I watched. But also, the videos sadly aren't doing that well for our kind of people, you know. I don't really see too many other people outside of maybe Ashley Miller and a couple other channels that review the show, and their videos get a few thousand views while mine barely scrape a few hundred. So forgive me for not pumping these videos out as quickly as possible, but you know, I like to take my time and make sure, you know, I get it done right in my way. So with that being said, the more these videos get supported, the more urgency I have to do these quicker. But like I said, I need to take a break, but we're back now. Make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we get closer to 190,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out when I post content on the channel. Teddy's on the phone with Dr. Keller about the dizzy spell he had in regards to the pills. And, you know, if things get worse and the pills don't do as they were promised, then he's going to pull his endowment from their institution. Tyreek comes in, and, you know, Teddy confronts him about the fact that the other night, I know that you and Angela were in my office. And the fact that, you know, you broke my trust is the fact that, well, your father, you know, I trusted him to do his job. He was like a door-to-door bill collector. And then Tyreek finishes the story like, yeah, he got shot collecting money from someone who was high and protecting you. So Angela trusts Tyreek just like Teddy trusted Tyreek's father. And hopefully, eventually, Angela will trust me as well. He'll give Angela and Nikki a cotillion week to remember. So there's less than 48 hours to the big event. Alex, who is Raymond's ex-wife, shows up, and she never took a break from news reporting since Obama and his administration. This scene, it was really good because Leah and Alex come face to face. Angela tries to break the tension by, you know, handing out pamphlets and, you know, announcements for Eve's crown. And it was to kind of break the tension. And Leah's like, hey, thanks, girl, but I can clean my own house. So it's cool to see how Leah and Angela are semi-breaking bread. You know, it's almost like, you know what, we're sisters. This isn't ideal for either of us, but thanks for having my back, but I got this. I like that. So from there, Leah tells Raymond about Alex showing up. He pretends to be surprised because, remember, he was the one that called her here anyway. And she says, you know, he's like, hey, don't let it ruffle your feathers. This is your big week. This is your first year as president of the organization. You're going to have a great cotillion week. So we go over to Eve's crown. Business is booming. Yeah, it's great to see how Angela has come up and everybody's coming in, spending money. It's amazing. And Angela's talking to Aunt Piggy, not Peggy. I know I've said that a lot in videos about Teddy's journals, and she warns her about the fact that you're in too deep now. And, you know, of course, this is all in the name of clearing her mother's name on the island. And we actually have Nikki getting a text from Taylor, and she leaves to go to the beach. It's all about Taylor asking whether or not she can be Nikki's escort to the cotillion. I do believe she said that after the whole thing with Lauren outing her for being someone with a criminal record, the girls in the cotillion voted and actually gave Nikki the title of most congenial. So that was pretty cool. Angela's reading through the journal, and Teddy surprises her at Eve's crown, and it turns out they have a little conversation about the importance of passing things down from, you know, father to daughter, and in this case it was a string of pearls in the form of a necklace, and she is being, told that Teddy could get Nate out of jail because he received a letter, and she is stunned by this because this is a lot to take in. And I mean, this is something that could be done as soon as possible. And he mentions that, oh yeah, I like you and Tyreek together, he's a good man, and then he leaves. Okay. So you got Lauren, who is sad seeing Taylor posting online with Nikki about the Cotillion, and people are loving it. And remember, this was supposed to be her, her and Taylor were supposed to be a thing. And to be completely honest, later in the episode this is addressed, but Taylor was the one who was really cheating, if you want to call it that, because she was the one who pursued Nikki and not Nikki with Taylor, if you want to just put it that way. But Leah comes in saying, look, there's going to be more Taylors, but you need to wake up and get to work because you know what? You got kicked out of the Cotillion. 15 minutes to get ready. I was honestly expecting Lauren to use the knowledge about her mom having an affair with Jack, right? That's Raymond's business partner. But she didn't. She just said, oh, okay. So Tyreek and Angela are at the beach, and he tells her about the fact that Nate is, Angela tells him about Teddy trying to get Nate out of jail. And it's interesting because he mentions the fact that you might want to take the offer because when Teddy took care of me after my dad died, he tried to make it seem like I won the lottery. And it's almost like Angela feels a sense of guilt, kind of taking advantage of her new family. Basically, since my last name has truly been revealed due to my lineage, it's almost like we're skipping the line. There are so many black men wrongfully jailed or in prison, basically receiving sentences that don't match the crime. So it feels bad that Nate's getting out and there's so many other people left in there. But, that's what Tyreek's like, one victory at a time. So, yeah, he encourages her to accept the offer. So Teddy and Leah have a chat, and Leah's just basically reminding her dad not to use people like chess pieces. I believe he's getting fitted for a suit for the Cotillion, and his hands kind of shaking, but he reassures Leah that he's going to be okay. And from there is like, look, I want to get Nate out because you were actually right about Tyreek not being 100% loyal, and by having Nate released, that could possibly break up Angela and Tyreek. It'll also be good because, hey, the PR for Teddy reuniting his granddaughter with her real father, bringing Angela into the family, this will just be good press overall for the stadium. And from there, Leah tells Teddy about Alex lurking around the island, and then they do their little us against the world handshake, and they hug, and you can almost tell that Leah's faith in her father seems to be wavering. So Raymond confronts Alex while she's drinking wine on the beach that she made her presence known, and that's not what she's supposed to be here for. She's supposed to be lying low while getting intel. Don't stir the pot. But Leah's like, I do my best work when I'm closer to my prey. So she's like, I'm not going to ruffle feathers. I'm just going to get the work done, and that's it. But then we actually find out that Leah was Raymond's rebound after they got divorced. So he mentions, yeah, it started that way, but we're actually pretty in love, so don't you forget it. So Teddy and Nikki are actually practicing for the dance, and she learned how to dance from, her grandma Eve, and, he mentions how she was an amazing dancer, and he says that, hey, if you ever need anything, just let me know, and he is going to hand her, I believe, a coin that's been passed down in the family. It belonged to Frederick Douglass at the event, and she hugs him before she leaves. I thought that was a cute moment because I don't even think Angela and Teddy are at the hugging each other stage, unless they've done that already and I forgot, but this was just cool. But as soon as she's about to leave, she runs into Lauren, who apologizes for embarrassing Nikki the way that she did, and she even apologizes for quote unquote taking Taylor, but it's like, you know what, yeah, Taylor, I guess it wasn't going to work out anyway. So as soon as Nikki leaves, she like lets out a sigh like, whew, because it was a lot. But it was good to actually see her do this, and that's how family is sometimes. So it looks like Angela is helping Leah out at Eve's crown, picking out certain hair and product and whatnot, and Leah mentions how she knows about the Nate situation, and Teddy can help, but, you know, she doesn't really know if she wants it. But, you know, from there, Leah kind of vouches for their dad, the fact that, look, if there's anybody that can help, it's him. And, you know, he, you know, probably is doing it for a good reason. So she mentions that she doesn't want Leah to tell Nikki about the Nate situation. And she's like, oh, no, I won't. Or, you know, your street behind will kick my bougie ass. So she's surprised, though, when Angela mentions that, hey, you know what, Teddy said it's us against the world, and the fact that I don't know, it's like I said earlier, it seems like Leah is beginning to lack trust in her father, because the way he manipulates people, who she's probably thinking, wow, you know what, everything I've done, I feel like I've been manipulated my whole life too. So Nate actually calls Angela about the whole situation, and she's like, look, I don't want to make it seem like I want you to stay locked up, but it's hard for me to trust this guy because it seems like he's buying my love and he doesn't do anything without an agenda. But overall, it's her call whether or not she is, you know, giving a thumbs up to set him free. And I'm thinking the whole time, I'd feel some kind of way about that. It's like, yeah, it definitely sounds like you're trying to keep me locked up despite, look, I got a ticket out of here. Why not take it? All right. So Raymond actually, his mother, Olivia, comes up to Alex while I believe she's in the middle of a spa massage. And she's like, oh, she hears somebody. It's like, oh, not too hot. And then she puts like one hot stone on her. Oh, wait, that's hot, hot, hot. And then she wakes up. Okay. So basically, she's like, I warned you to stay away from my family. You be careful now. Well, I'm not scared of you. Well, you're not scared of me because I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you to stay away from my family. And it's just hilarious. Like, you know what? While you're here, take a dip in the... What did she say? Take a dip or take a drink or something. Just be careful. It's hot. And then she throws the stone and hot towel at her. And Alex looks so like, okay. So Leah actually learns that Lauren started a charity. And it looks like she's just trying to do better. She's trying to be better. And, you know, looking at people like Nikki, it's like not everybody came up with the opportunity and resources that I had. So what I'm doing is I'm giving away my clothes to young girls who lack professional clothing. And based on, you know, her actions lately, Leah actually says, I've been talking and, well, I'm going to try to get you back into the Cotillion. And she's thankful for that. So it's the night of the big event. Teddy hands Angela and Aunt Piggy their tickets to the family table. And while Angela goes to give Piggy a drink, you know, Piggy and Teddy have their exchange. And he's like, wow, I'm surprised that you're still here. You're showing your face because, well, there might be some people around here who recognize you from back in the day. And what's funny, as soon as he says this, Piggy looks over and one of the maids at the event is giving her a certain look. And she's like kind of spooked. So Angela's like, wait, what's wrong? What's going on? And Aunt Piggy's like, you know what? My head's starting to spin. You make sure you take lots of pictures and videos and show them to him when you get home. And then she just leaves. So Piggy must have been into some deep shit back then. And we got another scene where Leah confronts, you know, Alex about how, wow, I thought only family was supposed to be invited here. So it turns out that Leah Alex dumped Raymond via a Dear John letter. And she's like, you know what? Well, I actually have family and invited guests to attend to. So she walks off and the dance takes place, you know, where it's the debutantes and their escorts. And, you know, they do the old, dun, 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 you know, the fancy old dance. But then they turn into like a hip hop. Olivia's face at the podium when she noticed, like, you know, what's going on here? You know, everybody in the crowd feeling it. I think my favorite part is when Angela's doing video of it and she's standing up and then some of the people are looking at her like, what are you doing? And she kind of just looks back and then sits down. But it was just great. And it was just interesting to me how the dance went. So it looks like Raymond looks over at Alex and he gets up and then Leah confronts him saying, look, Alex told me that I was your rebound and you need to make her leave now or I'm going to do it. And if I have to do it, it's not going to be pretty. So Tyreek is actually in his car reading the journal, and it looks like based on the notes that Teddy lied about how his father died. And then Teddy actually talks to Leah just to let her know that, hey, I'm doing okay. And then they both take their turns up at the podium just to make their official announcements. Leah, this is her first time running the event. Her father kicking it off to make a speech about fathers and daughters and what's being, given to them from their father. And he actually makes a huge statement to apologize to Angela. And from there, it's interesting to me because of the fact that it's time for the father-daughter dance. And, Teddy's dancing with Nikki. Leah is chatting with Angela about, it was really nice what he did for Nikki. Yeah, it really was. And then it's interesting because they actually start to dance. And, actually, after Teddy's done with Nikki, he takes Leah for a dance. And you could tell she's getting jealous of, hey, I worked so hard and you're just like throwing everything away. It's like you're just spending the rest of your life with your other daughter. I see how it is. So she just walks away from Teddy. And, Lauren and Raymond notice what's going on. So afterwards, a call from prison occurs. And, Nate, I think Teddy on the dance floor calls the prison and Nate is let out of jail. So Teddy tells Angela that Nate is out. And it's interesting because of the fact that Angela wants him to stop trying to be a father now because you weren't a father back then. Piggy tells Angela about the situation, about not trusting Teddy, and then Angela claps back because I think that Angela took Piggy's steak on the plate and throws it in the trash, and she just goes off saying, you just need to stop because you're mad about Teddy unveiling your mess that you started because you covered up Nate from Nikki her entire life and you just don't want to deal with that. Because obviously the clap back isn't just because Angela threw her steak away, but because she's also upset about what happened at the dance. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Nikki gave a speech about, what fatherhood means to her, not having a father but having a strong mother. And then of course, Teddy gave her the coin that he said he would give her. So after that, Tyreek confronts Teddy due to the fact that you lied regarding my father's death. It turned out that Teddy covered it up because Tyreek's father committed suicide, and the story was told that he died in service of the Franklin family in order to get the insurance, and all that money would be used to take care and provide for Tyreek and his mother. And while Tyreek, is, going off on him, Teddy is actually shaking and he's having one of those fits from the Parkinson's. I don't know if it's because he didn't take his pill or just because the pill he took just didn't do what it was supposed to do. And he just passes out. Nate actually shows up saying, hey, I'm supposed to meet with Teddy. And then he notices what's going on. And then Tyreek gets him to call 911. Raymond jumps in a limo and tells Alex about how, look, I know I was the one that contacted you to take out Teddy, but my marriage comes first and you need to leave. And then it turns out that Olivia threatened to have Alex's parents deported if she didn't leave Raymond, due to the fact that Leah was the perfect choice for Raymond in order to marry and build up a family dynasty. At the time, Alex, it took her 20 years to build the reputation and career she has now as a news reporter, but back then she wasn't the ideal daughter-in-law that Olivia had in mind for her family. So she actually pulls out a check. It turns out that Olivia wrote her a huge check that she never cashed. She said, I kept that check as a reminder of everything I have that I built myself. And in the midst of this, a phone call comes through and Raymond asked to be dropped off at the hospital ASAP because we know Teddy is there. So Nikki is, still excited about the dance, and Angela comes in about to tell her about the Nate situation. But in the midst of it, Piggy comes in saying, hey, Tyreek's on the phone. She gets the phone and, no, she doesn't want to take the phone, but Piggy says it's about Teddy. Everybody rushes down to the hospital. You got Raymond, Leah, Quincy, Lauren at the front desk, and they're trying to get the condition of, what's going on with Teddy. You got Nate sitting across the waiting room. You got Tyreek. He gets up as soon as Piggy, Nikki, and Angela get in there. And in the midst of, just going over the details of what happened, Nate stands up because he's looking at Nikki. And then, Angela's like, oh my God. So then the cliffhanger ending is, Nikki, this is your father. boom, that's the end of the episode. So this was a great, fast pace. I had 3 pages of notes because a lot happened. And yeah, it would be a real shame if this show ended after 12 episodes. But what did you think of Our Kind of People episode 6? Things are definitely heating up here. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, please support. I mean, the more views the video gets, the more inclined I am to review more. So make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.